Hey everybody, Chris with Digital Horizons, and I'm with Scott Johannes. We are the owners of Digital Horizons, and we're starting a new series today where we, with you, review one of our installations. So periodically we set up a camera and record ourselves doing an installation in the hopes of showing you a little bit about what we do and educating you on how we do things, our processes, and then how it looks when it's installed. And so we've got a little bit of a setup here where we're going to narrate a recent installation, and we hope you enjoy. So we've got the video playing right now. Tell me a little bit about this room or the facility that this is installed into. What's going on here?
Well, this is basically a spin studio or a workout room studio they're using for spin class, and it was originally designed so you can have an instructor in the front and three risers.
The stage is on the left there underneath the blanket,
on the
right?
left. Three
We'd be
risers.
seeing a lot more blinky lights if the blanket wasn't there.
The owner wanted to make this a really, really cool involved experience for people to come in and work out, so we had pretty good sound system installed in there.
That's the speakers along the corners and the edge, right? How many speakers were there in this room?
There's 6 speakers on the sides there, and then we got 2 subwoofers in the back.
No, I know the answer to this, but tell me why the speakers are white versus a different color. Had something to do with, like, they painted the ceiling a different color, right?
Yeah, everything was going to be white originally.
Ideally, they would have been black, right?
At this point, it would have been black or a better option.
Kind of a small detail, but, to us, we would have preferred it to have matched a little bit better, but it's fine.
And they could get painted, too, if they needed
right.
to be, but at this point, it was fine with the ceiling grills being white, and it was kind of a mix of colors everywhere.
Sure.
The biggest issue we ran into with the room was when they designed the room and built it, they used the acoustical sheetrock, which is sound.
Was there just one layer of it?
It was just one layer,
okay.
But it's like a sound break. And after having that in and the room was finished, we found out that the room really sounded horrible inside.
Well, they have 2 giant windows off on the right-hand side.
2 windows, but all the hard surfaces, and then that sheetrock, that sound break actually reflected so much more.
It contains it in the room.
It contains it.
And then the front wall is a big glass window so that the people on the bikes can see themselves.
Right.
And
so really nothing in the room whatsoever to absorb sound.
Yep.
And with that sound break actually making it 10 times worse in there. I mean, you walk in and it was just a giant echo chamber.
Right.
It was horrible.
Yeah, the reverberation time was really, really high.
Yeah. So we went through and figured out, best places, aesthetically, as well as what would do the most good for, trying to eliminate all that reflection and everything else that's in the room.
Yep. So that's Dustin, by the way, if for anybody's watching it. What's he doing right now?
He's got a laser level. He's running through, marking out all the panels and their positions. It took us quite a while to lay this out the first time around before
it's not easy, is it?
No, it's not.
Especially with those thermostats and stuff in the back there.
You've got the thermostats. You've got the front wall that has mirrors. You've
Yep.
got the displays. There's actually a screen laying on the floor right there that's going to go
I
up.
think it gets installed in this video, doesn't it?
It does,
Yeah.
but it goes up between the 2 displays on the left. You can only see one of them up there.
Yep.
The other wall on the right actually has the big window looking into the lobby.
So, like, no panels over there, basically.
You can't put in there. And there was, you got electrical, you've got our speakers, you've got, there's fire alarm strobes and sirens and all sorts of things. I mean, you have to take all that into account when you're laying something like this out to
Yep.
make it look like, okay, somebody actually thought about
Yeah, right.
this
You don't
for a
just
while.
throw them up in a corner
No.
because it's actually important when you're laying out the panels. I mean, we have a minimum threshold that we'd like to have in a room in terms of coverage on the wall for it to be effective,
Right.
which varies room to room based on how it's being used. But in a space like this, our goal, I think, was around 20%. And, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of wall space, but to get 20% coverage with as many restrictions as there are with the windows or the glass in the front, the windows on the side, and everything else, it's actually really tough.
Right. And you'll see in a little bit here, we've got some ceiling tiles that are going to go, they're cloud.
Yep.
I don't know what the exact name is.
They're like a strato cloud or something,
Yep.
yeah.
So we've got those, and those are suspended off the ceiling by, I think, about 3 inches was the closest, or farthest down we could get them because of everything else and the view. There's going to be a projector mounted right in the dead center at the top. You can see a little blue light glowing. There's actually a USB extension, and that's where the projector is going to go in the end. But you've got the ceiling fans, you've got the grills for the HVAC system. Again, you've got lights, you've got everything else. It takes a lot of thinking and planning and laying it out so it looks right,
Yep.
as well as functions like you want it to.
Now, how are we attaching these panels to the wall? There's a procedure for that.
There's cleats basically that have spikes sticking off, and you just put them in the four corners, screw those into the sheetrock or into whatever structure you can get them into.
Yep.
And then you just press them on.
They just impale right on those clips,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, there's just jagged little teeth sticking off. They're fairly short, but you press them on there and it kind of grabs the fiberglass from the backside.
Which is nice because if you have to make changes,
Yeah,
you're not destroying the panel to do
Right.
it. You can pull them off if you have to reposition.
If you have to, yeah. I mean, if somebody would come in here and like break one or wreck one or rip it off the wall or something, they're easy to put back on.
Yep.
Or easy to replace. You know, if one of them got damaged bad enough where you had to replace it, you could throw another one up and nobody would know any different.
Yep.
And it'd be a quick process as long as you got it lined up. But there's the
ceiling
clouds.
tile.
Yep.
Yep.
And those unfortunately took way more time to lay out.
Well, look
than
how
I
much
thought it
stuff
would.
is on the ceiling.
Yeah, laying out, but also just getting. I mean, you have a blank slate on the ceiling. You know, trying to square something up with the walls on the ceiling is a lot harder than it looks.
Yep.
Even with a laser level, trying to get a nice line go in one direction, make your marks, turn it a different direction, make your cross vector on there for the corner of the cloud, and
Yep.
then you have to measure in.
Well,
on
and then
all
they're
four
sloppy
corners.
too a little bit.
Yeah,
They're not
hanging.
like these where you just impale it on the wall, and if you push it on there correctly,
Right.
it stays there because they're suspended by a. It's not a chain, but
it's a thin braided cable.
Yeah, it like, especially if there's air movement in the room, which as the fans indicate, there's a lot of it.
Yep.
It makes placement of them really hard.
Right. So making them look good, as well as, you know, making them as functional as possible can sometimes be a real.
Dustin's getting a workout, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, we were trying to check a few different things out. So. Yeah.
And the last two take a long time, I think. They were the challenging ones.
At some point, yeah, we did the first four, and then it was getting, I think, towards the end of the day on this for finishing up. But there's a lot going on in that room. I mean, there's an iPad that runs the audio, runs the video, runs the streaming music services, lets them run the lights, the stage, you know, pick between the music reactive stage lights.
And by the lights, you're referring to, I mean, obviously we're controlling all of the lights in here, but the really cool part about the lights are what are underneath the treads and then on the platform.
Correct.
Tell me about those.
Yeah, the platform has LED ribbon inside to glow to make it light up the whole surface of the box, but then each riser has a strip of what they call pixel neon.
Yep.
And that is just a straight row and a thin band underneath, and you can see there's a solid green color with white, which is one scene they wanted.
Green's best color, of course.
Of course. But then when they run the music, this is what you'll get, where it pulses to the music, and they can darken the room. Same thing from the iPad. They can shut the lights off. We've got preset scenes.
We even have control of the fans in there too, don't
fans,
we? Yeah.
lights,
The exhaust, the what are the, I forget the tier
air pairs.
Air pairs, yep.
Yeah, there's air pairs in there. There's pretty much everything. The instructor can sit at the bike up on the platform. They've got a little custom-made stand for that iPad to snap into, so it's right there in front of them where they need it while they're pedaling.
Yep.
They can run every aspect of the room.
That's kind of crazy now. Yeah.
They have a belt pack transmitter with a headset microphone, so
Yep.
they can encourage people who are in there to do the workout. They can run through the workout with them.
It makes for when you're in that room and you're actually engaging in the spin class, it's such a barrage of your senses. It really ties you into what the instructor's leading. Like, it's all incredibly choreographed. It's really cool.
It makes a huge difference. The more involved and the more enveloped you are in that class. I mean, it's lights are down, the music's pumping, the lights are flashing.
You're like focused on what. Yeah.
You're focused. I mean, the instructors do a good job of picking out music, the playlists for each class they're running. I mean, they've got a plan. They got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to make it work as well as it does for them. And
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good.
They've been pretty happy with it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.